Keys to the game for Lasalle. First is to control the glass. Davidson, a phenomenal rebounding team. They hold their opponents to about 31 boards per game. Lasalle typically holds their opponents to about 44 and a half rebounds per game. Second is transition defense. LaSalle is a team that works, moves quickly, and we'll see if they can get back on defense. And third is limit turnovers. They've got about 19 and a half points per game. Davidson averages under 14 turnovers per game. And so we'll see if LaSalle can try to even those things out. You look at the team stats, it's not super close, but LaSalle can work to limit Davidson and make this a tough ball game for the Wildcats. Take a look at the starting five first for the Davidson Wildcats. Susie Rose Deegan has been stellar this year, their team leader in scoring. She starts at guard, as does Mallory Haynes. Izzy Morgan, fourth in the Atlantic 10 in assist to turnover ratio. Charlize Dunn, who is a sophomore from Victoria, Australia, transfer from Virginia Tech. And Millie Pryor, who has been phenomenal this season. 9 of her 12 games, she has scored in double digits. As we take a look at the starting five for LaSalle. And so starting for the Explorers, Tiara Bolden, the junior transfer from Eastern Arizona Junior College, shooting guard. Of course, Molly Masciantonio, fifth-year player from the Philadelphia area. Last year had the best assist to turnover ratio in the country. Nicole Melius, true freshman, three-point sharpshooter. Jolene Armandaris, who has transferred in from San Francisco State, has been a solid player. And then Emily Tejada, back from injury, returned on December 21st. And that's your starting five for LaSalle. So, first game of the brand new year here in Philadelphia, Tom Gola Arena, is underway. I am Corey Cohen, coming to you live on ESPN+, your home for Atlantic 10 basketball. Davidson wearing black uniforms here on the road. LaSalle wearing their home whites. Moving it around nicely. Offensive board for Izzy Morgan. Fresh 20 seconds for Davidson. Morgan, junior point guard from Sydney, Australia. Nice bounce pass inside, countered and one. Izzy Morgan is fourth in the Atlantic 10 in assists per game. She's got 4.2 assists per game. She's also fourth in the A10 in shooting percentage. She shoots 55% from the field. And she is fourth in the conference in assist to turnover ratio, a specialty of LaSalle point guard Molly Masciantonio. It's a foul there called on Tiara Bolden, and so we'll see another free throw coming from Millie Pryor, who made the bucket. Junior, also from Sydney, Australia. She transferred in from Fordham, also in the Atlantic 10. Last year was her first year at Davidson. Was injured all year. So this is her first year playing for the Wildcats. So LaSalle coming in on a 7-game losing streak. Davidson coming in on a 9-game winning streak. Two teams headed in opposite directions. Izzy Morgan. Again, a bounce pass underneath. Nothing comes of it. LaSalle again without their leading scorer, Eris MacToon. Hasn't played since November 15th. There's a bump foul called on Susie Rose Deegan. Top player for Davidson. Fifth-year guard out of Perth, Australia. was named first team All-Atlantic 10 as a freshman and has taken a big step up this year, leading the Wildcats with over 14 points per game. There's a three from Armendariz to get the party started for LaSalle. Armendariz from Canyon Lake, California, transferred in from D2 San Francisco State. Has been averaging under 5 points per game. Millie Pryor, transfer from Fordham. First year playing for the Wildcats after being injured last year, and does a nice job there for the 6'2" forward. She's had to step up in a big way following the injury to Elle Sutphin. Sutphin, the redshirt senior, has been one of the team leaders. There's a nice bucket from Armendariz. Sutphin has been injured since November 21st. So we've had to see more work done by Millie Pryor and Charlize Dunn, but they've stepped up in a big way. Here's Pryor. And now Dunn. Two front court starters. Dunn inside off the rim, offensive board. Davidson with another. They lead the rebounding battle 3-0, and there's a bucket for Susie Rose Deegan. 6-5 lead for Davidson. Molly Masciantonio gives it to the hot hand, Armendariz. Pass to Tejada, in and out, offensive board, Bolden. Bolden, originally from Eugene, Oregon. Knocked away. It was tipped, so no backcourt violation. Shot clock down to 4. Armendariz gets stuffed. And it's a shot clock violation. First substitutions of the game for Davidson. We'll see enter Maddie Plank. And for the first time since November 21st, Ellie Sutphin comes in for Davidson. The 6'3" front court player from Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, has been out since November 21st. She is reigning second team All-Atlantic 10. She averages just under 14 points per game and over 5 rebounds per game before getting hurt. Another offensive board for the Wildcats. Pass inside to Sutphin, makes it look easy. So the return of Ellie Sutphin, it was unclear if she was going to be able to go tonight. But this is her return. First time playing in over a month. Bit of a lazy pass there from Tejada, stolen away by Dunn. Easy 2 points for Davidson. Charlize Dunn, sophomore from Victoria, Australia. Transferred in from Virginia Tech. There's Tiara Bolden with the layup. Nice hustle play for the junior transfer. And there's another bucket for Davidson. And if you're wondering what's the connection, why are 4 of the 5 starters for Davidson from Australia? Well, the associate head coach, James Jansen, is from Australia, and he's built a phenomenal pipeline between the land down under and Davidson, North Carolina. Whole lot of players from Australia on the squad. Poor pass from Armendariz, stolen away by Plank. Inside, Haynes gets fouled and will head to the line. LaSalle was used to some Aussies on the team. They had the Jacobs sisters, Claire, Amy, and then Mia, all on the squad. No game, and that'll go again. The 7 lead early on here.
For clients, the perfect cars, and they love
at NovaCare.
Happy New Year as we come to you on January 2nd, 2024. By comparison, averages under 61 points per game. Gabby Turco back in for LaSalle. Deegan back in for Davidson. Sutphin Right. Charlotte, she had Miller has slowed down when it comes to scoring. She set 7 points. Misses the second. Rebound 4 by Dunn. Tough angle. And rebound for care of the ball. Turco in the paint. Knocked away. And a lot of contact there. Foul called on Jackson. Finally, Monclava and Childs. Armendariz. Miller. Size disadvantage. Pull-up jumper is wide. Davidson moving quickly. Stolen away by Lasalle. Masciantonio has it. Armendariz wide open. 3 off the rim. Corralled by Dunn. And stolen away. Masciantonio has it yet again. She averages 1.5 steals per game. Here's Miller. Gets tripped up. No foul called. A bit slow to get up and back on defense. Davidson did not take advantage of the 5-on-4. Sylvie Jackson has it. And that was a holding foul called on Miller. That's the team's 5th, so it'll put Davidson into the bonus as Morgan comes into the game for the Wildcats.
Millie Pryor goes to the line to shoot 2.
And Millie Pryor will head to the line.
Emily Tejada back in for the Explorers.
She averages just about 12 points per game, and she leads the Wildcats with 7.4 rebounds per game. She's an incredibly high-efficiency shooter, shooting mostly inside. She shoots 62% from the field, but only 59.5% from the free throw line. We see her go 1 for 2 there. It's not often you see a player have a higher field goal percentage than a free throw percentage. But that is the case for Millie Pryor. A 22-10 lead for Davidson. Tejada. Masciantonio, longest tenured player on this squad by far. Turco, shot clock down to 3, missed layup. No foul called again. Morgan, kick out. Dunn had it open, instead makes the extra pass. Corner 3 is an air ball. There's a foul called on Davidson. That is on Pryor.
Fouls on 10, Millie Pryor, her first. Team's 4th.
Masciantonio. A little over a minute left in this opening quarter. Nice pass outside to Tejada, too strong. Rebound Pryor. That's Pryor's 3rd rebound already. Here's a 3 from Dunn, too much. Put back, no. Rebound Armendariz. Knocked away, Tejada comes away with it. Morgan didn't realize the ball was loose. Kickball. 35.5 seconds left in this first quarter. Davidson, winners of 9 in a row. They've only lost 1 game all season. That was to 16th ranked North Carolina in Chapel Hill. And they only lost by 4, 74-70. They've been excellent this year. Here's a 3 from Turco, that misses. Offensive board for Lasalle. They get a fresh 20 seconds. Armendariz, quick trigger. Off the rim. Shots just not falling yet for the Explorers. But a foul called on Davidson. Some big wins for Davidson this year. Include victories against 2 ACC squads. They beat Wake Forest by 5. And they beat 22nd ranked Duke 69-62, and that was in Durham. Also have a huge win in the Atlantic 10 against Dayton. That was back on December 5th. Davidson won 81-53. In LaSalle's only A-10 game of the season, they played George Mason a few nights ago. Lost 74-37, although the Patriots are one of the top teams in the conference. So are the Wildcats, and they've started out strong, 22-12, as we approach the end of this first quarter. One more possession for the Wildcats. Morgan needs somewhere to go. 2 on the clock. A long 2 there from Plank. Gets the friendly bounce. And that ends the first quarter with a jumper from Maddie Plank. Davidson leading 20. Unfriendly roll from Masciantonio. Nice effort there from Bolden to force a held ball. Davidson ball. And Morgan also, due to those three-pointers, has 3 straight games with 12 points or more. She is really coming into her own this year. She was a top 100 recruit ranked by ESPNW. There's Sutphin yet again inside. Full court press on from Davidson. They lead 29-12. 7-0 run in short order for the Wildcats. Bolden thought about it. Drives, gets fouled.
Fouls on 10, Millie Pryor, her second. Team's first of the
Second foul for Pryor, so she will spend some time on the bench, likely for the remainder of the half. That should be helpful for the Explorers. Again, Pryor, their leading rebounder. First in the A-10 in field goal percentage. 9 of their 12 games this season, she has scored in double digits. She's already at 5 points. But having Pryor on the bench for the while should help. First free throw misses from Bolden. LaSalle shooting under 63% from the line this year. Second free throw is good. Bit of a full court pressure here from LaSalle. And that's Davidson ball. (29-13). Stolen away by LaSalle. Miller, baseline jumper off the rim. Shots just not falling so far for LaSalle. They're shooting under 28%. It's a bit of a wild shot from Davidson. Their shots generally are falling. They're shooting 60%. And you look at the season averages, LaSalle shoots 36.4% from the field. Davidson just under 47%. They're a phenomenal shooting team. They're second in the conference in field goal percentage. And they are first in scoring margin. Turco. 2 on the shot clock. Turco gets blocked. And I believe they will call a shot clock violation.
Davidson ball. Maddie Plank on for the Wildcats.
Plank in for Davidson, the redshirt junior from upstate New York. Transferred in from Princeton. This is her second year with the team. She won the Ivy League with the Princeton Tigers. Making a footprint in the Atlantic 10. Here's Susie Rose Deegan. She's been held in check so far. Scores there off the glass. Masciantonio, currently 6th in the Atlantic 10 in assist to turnover ratio. Not much movement on this offensive end. Pass inside. Monclava. Air ball. Davidson possession. Donovan into the game. Backup point guard. Doesn't get a ton of playing time. Plank. Offensive foul against Davidson.
Offensive foul number 14.
And that is on Maddie Plank.
Team second, Jolene
Armendariz comes in for Monclava. So full court press on yet again from the Wildcats. They need to get this in. They do. To Masciantonio. So Turco has the ball. Calls for an ISO. And a foul called. And that's on Maddie Plank. So that's her second. She might spend much of the rest of the half on the bench. Palindrome score here, 13-31. Same play. The ISO. What a post up from distance from Turco. Plank defending. Turco hook shot, misses. And a foul there called on Haynes, as Armendariz was going for the rebound. As there's a immediate timeout. 31-13 the score. We'll take a quick break. Back with more of the second quarter.
County, go ahead. Freak out.
Hook shot wide. Offensive board. Miller goes right back up. Cannot score. Held ball. Possession arrow keeps that with Lasalle. Pryor, Dunn, and Jackson all come into the game for Davidson. Inbound yet again to Turco. And it looks like they're running the same play again. And actually a smile in the face of Plank. Kick out to Masciantonio. Puts up a three, contested, and she drills it. Big three there for Masciantonio on the board for the first time tonight. Recently hit the 1,000 career point mark in their last home game against Villanova. She scored a season high 15 points and was honored, eclipsing the mark as a 1,000 point scorer. Inside, off the rim. Masciantonio. Armendariz, trailer three, off the rim. Poked away by Miller. But she trips, goes out of bounds, and it goes right back to Davidson. Plank. Pass inside to Sutphin. Excuse me, that was to Dunn. Now looking for Sutphin, now looking for Pryor, goes out of bounds. Melius comes back in for Lasalle. True freshman from Staten Island. He's not scored yet tonight. 31-16 lead for the Wildcats. Masciantonio. Bolden. Armendaris. Shot clock down to 4. Miller has to drive, puts it up. And they called a foul on the shot just as the shot clock was expiring. Sutphin will come in now for Davidson. So Miller at the line to shoot 2. And into the game for the first time tonight, Amber Bullard. Freshman from Philadelphia. As Miller makes the first. Rebounding battle actually has not been bad for Lasalle. Davidson has 14 boards, Lasalle has 12. Here's a 3 from the wing. Offensive rebound, Morgan. Morgan puts it back up, misses. And yet another offensive rebound for Davidson. Inside, foul called on Bullard.
Fouls on 5, Amber Bullard, her first. Team second.
Baseline inbound coming here. Morgan inbounds to Dunn. Contested pass. Stays with the Wildcats. And a traveling call. That's on Sylvie Jackson. Masciantonio brings it up. Again, seems like Lasalle is waiting until a bit later in the shot clock to get plays moving. Masciantonio drives, gets her own rebound, second chance, and now a held ball, and that'll go to Davidson. Morgan to Jackson. Three misses. Miller. Yeah, again, hearing the call from Mountain McGillivray, the head coach for Lasalle, now in his 6th year, and he's saying we run at 10. So they really don't start the play until there's 10 on the shot clock. It's certainly interesting. Here's Melius, an open 3, and she drains it. Melius, the all-time leading scorer in the history of New York City high school basketball. True freshman from Staten Island. Set the single-season points record in New York City with over 1,100 points in a year. And over her high school career, she had over 3,100 points, which is the most by any player, boy or girl, in the history of New York City high school basketball. She started out well, 10.5 points per game early in her freshman season. Shooting over 30% from the field, over 37% from the field, over 34% from 3. So Charlize Dunn at the line, transfer from Virginia Tech, played 11 games as a freshman for the Hokies, but has stepped up as a Wildcat. Tejada into the game for Lasalle. And again, an interesting strategy here. The full court press leads Lasalle to a position where they could move quickly in transition and try to score in like a 3-on-3 situation. They've done that for a lot of this season, but now they're switching to a more slower-paced half-court offense. 2 on the shot clock. Armendariz has to heave it up. It's short. Gets her own rebound. That misses. Inside. Another bucket from Sutphin. 35-21 lead. Again, just holding in this half-court offense. They start to run the play. Masciantonio drives, gets fouled, counted, and one. Big play there for Masciantonio, running an offense that's quite different than what she's run for years here at Lasalle. Again, normally a high-pace offense team that loves to try to score in transition. She makes it a three-point play. Usually the MO for Mountain McGillivray is run fast, push the pace, don't let the opponent slow the game down. In this case, it's LaSalle slowing the game down. 35-24 the score. But LaSalle leading the second quarter 12-11. So something is working. The Davidson shots have not been falling. The drive underneath. No bucket for Morgan. Davidson has made one of their last 6 shots. It's an 11-point game. About 5 seconds separate shot and game clocks. So Turco, pass inside Tejada, beautiful play! Great pass from Turco to find Tejada with the smooth finish. 3 seconds left. That went off the foot, and that went in. It won't count. Molly Masciantonio has a smile on her face. The points don't count, but it was still a great shot from half court. And at halftime, LaSalle has this at single digits. They were down 24-12 after the first quarter. Looked like it could be a blowout, but it is 35-26 here at halftime. They have slowed down the Davidson offense, and we'll see if they can do that for the remainder of this game. But right now, it's a 9-point contest. We will take a break here for halftime. Back in about 15 minutes. You're watching A10 Basketball.
Exclusive home of the complete top leagues and tournaments. Complete 30 for 30 library. Live sports. Plus originals.
Second half about to begin in just a couple minutes. Davidson leading LaSalle 35-26 here at halftime. The Davidson Wildcats 11-1 overall, 1-0 in the conference. They've won 9 games in a row. Their only loss this season was to North Carolina, ranked 16th in the nation at the time. That was back on November 12th. They've won 8 straight games by 14 points or more. They haven't even played a close game since they beat Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium on November 16th. LaSalle, on the other hand, has not played a close game in the other direction. They've lost 7 in a row after starting 3-2. Last time that they even kept a game in single digits was November 29th at Penn. But right now they've got this game in single digits. They did it by slowing the game down in the second quarter. You take a look at the stats there. The field goal percentage, massive difference for Davidson. They're making half of their shots. Lasalle closer to a quarter. The threes have not fallen much for Davidson, outside, of course, of Mallory Haynes, the best three-point shooter in the country as it stands. And Davidson is out-rebounding LaSalle. But second quarter, to bring this back into single digits. So Armendariz to inbound. And the second half is underway here in Philadelphia. I'm Corey Cohen, coming to you live on site at Tom Gola Arena on the campus of LaSalle University. Just joining us, Explorers wearing white, Wildcats wearing black. Davidson, one of the top teams. Beautiful pass, and there's the finish from Bolden. Excellent assist from Nicole Melius. Great finish from Bolden. 7-point ball game. Late whistle as the foul is called.
Puzzle 3, Emily Tejada, her first. Team's first of the quarter. Susie Rose Deegan to the line, shooting 2.
So Susie Rose Deegan at the line. She was held in check in the first half. Just 4 points for her. She averages over 14 points per game, most on the squad. She's got over 1,300 career points, all as a Davidson Wildcat. This is her 5th year out of Perth, Australia, on Australia's west coast. Lane violation. Looks like that was on Davidson. I believe that's called on Charlize Dunn. So LaSalle ball. There's a full court press. So Davidson not changing things up defensively, and we'll see if LaSalle still sticks with the slow half-court offense. Tejada from the elbow, short. Ball with Morgan. And that second quarter style, it worked defensively. It slowed Davidson down. They scored 24 points in the first quarter, 11 points in the second quarter. But the offense still not very effective from LaSalle. There's a jumper, it's short. Ball on the ground and stays in bounds. Morgan, the point guard, has it. Shot clock already down to 10. Dunn. Inside, poked away, foul called. Surprised that was called from the referee away from the play. The furthest of the 3 referees to the incident. There's a shooting foul called, and that'll send Charlize Dunn to the line. Kayla Miller and Gabby Turco come in for LaSalle. Again, Dunn, sophomore from Victoria, Australia, transferred in from Virginia Tech. Started her Davidson career incredibly well. In her first 4 games, she averaged 22 points per game. But in her most recent 4 games, she's averaging 10 points per game. So things have definitely slowed down a bit for her. She came out of the gate blazing. Of course, she hasn't played quite as much the last few games because Davidson has been winning by so much. They've pulled some of their top players earlier. So shot clock already down to 6. Knocked away. Or 4% what her... Haynes playing with 2 fouls. Didn't want to get too aggressive there. 7-point game. That'll stay with the Wildcats. And this strategy for Mountain McGillivray is bold, but so far it's working. LaSalle clawing their way back in this. So under 10 on the shot clock. Miller called for the foul. Count it from Miller. She split the defenders. Davidson not sure what to do here. It's absolutely fascinating. It was unclear if it would be called for traveling or a foul. It was a foul. Haynes called for the foul. It is her third, so she's now in some foul trouble. Miller goes to the line to make it a three-point play. And she brings this to a 4-point game. This has been absolutely fascinating. This is my 6th year calling LaSalle games. I don't think I've ever seen a game quite like this as a chess match. Foul called there. The home fans here not happy about it, saying that Pryor took a dive. Meanwhile, that was the team's 4th. One more, and Davidson's in the bonus. So yes, there are individual players for Davidson in foul trouble, but LaSalle as a team is in foul trouble this quarter. Good defense here. Trying to beat the zone. Drive. Miss. Offensive board. Pryor. Held ball. It'll stay with the Wildcats. Sutphin comes in for Pryor. Inbound. Done. Pass. Stolen away by LaSalle. Defensively, LaSalle has been excellent in the second and third quarter. And offensively, it has been fascinating. This quarter, they've been great. They're shooting 80%, 4 for 5. Mount McGillivray saying, get to the middle. 10 on the shot clock. They start to run the play. Quick shot from Miller. Michaela Miller. 12 points, and she brings this to a one-possession game. Timeout called by Gail Folks, the 7th-year head coach of Davidson, as LaSalle is storming back in this one from down 18 to down just 2. We will...
We're winning.
That turns into a media timeout, so we will take...
Cross can help. Don't miss a beat with Plant.
This year, they've got a huge win in conference against Dayton, 81-53 back on December 5th. They've beaten 2 ACC teams, Wake Forest and 22nd-ranked Duke. Their only loss in the entire year was at 16th-ranked North Carolina, and that was a 4-point game. Only teams in the conference with better records in this A-10 are St. Joe's and VCU. They're 12-1. Davidson is 11-1. They're a stellar team. LaSalle, 3-9, coming off 7 straight losses, including a conference loss to George Mason down in Fairfax, 74-37 on Saturday. These two teams could not have had more different seasons coming into this game. It's a close one now, 43-37, shot clock down to 6. Davidson's defense is different. Armendariz puts up a jumper, misses. Held ball, and that will stay with LaSalle. So the adjustment from 7th-year head coach Gail Folks, having her best season yet, has been a strong one. Defensively, they're putting more pressure on the half court of LaSalle. Even in distance, they're not letting LaSalle get comfortable as the shot clock goes down. Can it create space? Armendariz, offensive foul.
Offensive foul, 32, Jolene Armendariz. Her second puts the team over the limit. Millie Pryor on for the Wildcats.
Pryor into the game. It was an offensive foul, so no trip to the line here for Davidson, even though they're in the bonus. Pryor. Fordham transfer. Out to Morgan. The drive, foul called against Lasalle.
Fouls on 32, Jolene Armendariz, her third. Millie Pryor shooting 2.
First is good from Pryor. Again, she's got a phenomenal field goal percentage of over 62%, but at the free throw line, she shoots 59.5, yet again goes 1 for 2 there. So Masciantonio slowing it down. Different kind of player than Michaela Miller. They've both had good games. Armendariz. Again, high pressure from Davidson. Shot clock down to 6. Melius driving. Bounce pass. Foul before the pass. So the basket does not count. That foul on Susie Rose Deegan, it is her third foul. She is the third Wildcat with 3 fouls, and therefore in a bit of foul trouble. One Explorer has 3 fouls. That's Armendariz. Inbound to Michaela Miller, 20 seconds, and she is going to drain some clock. Kicks it out. Corner 3. Armendariz off the rim. So an empty trip there for Lasalle. Corner 3 on the other end. Donovan misses. Fight for the rebound. And boy, is it a fight. Held ball. Possession arrow gives that to Davidson. Baseline inbound coming here for Izzy Morgan. Gets it to Dunn, 2 of the 5 Australian players in the rotation. Drive from Dunn. Kick out. Donovan. The Aussie gets it done. Katie Donovan, the freshman from Queensland. It's a big bucket. And Davidson is up by 10. LaSalle has not scored in almost 3 minutes of action. There's a foul called, reach in, against Charlize Dunn. That's her second.
Team's third.
Third team foul against the Wildcats this quarter. Inbound to Miller, but she couldn't handle the pass. It's a backcourt violation.
Davidson ball.
Now McGillivray making his case for a foul being called there. Backdoor cut. Kickball violation. It'll stay with Davidson. Wildcats have been winning their games comfortably. They've got 8 straight victories by 14 points or more. They haven't played a close game since November 16th. And a reach-in foul called on Armendariz. LaSalle hasn't played a close game since November 29th against Penn.
Fouls on 32, Jolene Armendariz, her fourth.
In the last couple games, they lost to Villanova by 14. On December 21st, they lost to George Mason by quite a bit more than that.
Just into the Explorers, 1 Tiara Bolden, 33 Haley Childs.
Bolden and Childs come in for the Explorers. First free throw is good from Millie Pryor. 9 of the 12 games Davidson has played this year, Pryor has scored in double digits. She is now at 8 points. An incredibly reliable scorer. Not to mention she's already at 5 rebounds. She leads the team with 7.4 per game. So about 2 minutes left in this third quarter. 12-point lead for Davidson. LaSalle hasn't scored in almost 3.5 minutes. Stripped away by Izzy Morgan. Nice grab there. Morgan looks to go coast to coast. Rebound Bolden. Masciantonio will slow it down. Davidson on a 10-0 run after LaSalle cut this game to single digits. Pass inside, Childs, friendly bounce. And there's a big three for Davidson. 52-39 the score. A 13-2 run for Davidson in the back half of this third quarter. Bolden pulls back. Shot clock down to 4. This is just iso ball. Bolden's got to put it up off the rim. Deegan. And now Davidson will hold for one final shot in this third quarter. So it took an adjustment from Gale Fulks, but the Wildcats have turned things around in this third quarter. There's a three off the back iron. Rebounded by LaSalle, and that ends the third quarter. 52-39 the score. Davidson leading LaSalle after 30 minutes. One quarter still to play. We'll be right back. It's underway now from Tom Gola Arena. I am Corey Cohen. It has been a fascinating battle of wits here between head coaches Gale Fulks and Mountain McGillivray. We saw LaSalle switch up completely their style of offense from anything we've seen them do. Really bring it to Davidson. And then Davidson counter how they played on defense. As there's a foul on Maddie Plank. It is her third. And the inbound to Miller. It was 31-13 Davidson. Then LaSalle went on a 24-8 run to bring it to 39-37. But since then, Davidson has come storming back. Missed layup there from Miller. LaSalle has not scored in almost 2 minutes of play. But Davidson's offense has been cold as well these last couple minutes. Drive past Miller. That's short. Rebound loose. Plank got there. They let it go. And it'll be LaSalle ball. So both of these offenses have gone cold at points. We'll see if LaSalle's can heat back up. The first half of the third quarter was absolutely electric on offense. A lot of iso ball. Miller to Melius. She hasn't gotten too involved, just 3 points. Foul away from the shot. It's a moving screen. Shot didn't go in. Plank thought about it. Drives. And a foul called on Maddie Plank. That is her fourth foul, so she will spend some time on the bench in foul trouble. And Sutphin comes back in, second leading scorer for Davidson. Second team All-Atlantic 10 a season ago. she's playing the post. Melius on the ball. This is like a chess match between the two coaches, between the two styles. Melius, little pick and roll. Tejada out to Masciantonio, too strong. Rebounded by Davidson. Pryor. Deegan. Inside, nice pass and the finish from Millie Pryor. Make that now 10 of Davidson's 13 games. Millie Pryor has scored in double figures. She's up to 10 points. Shooting 4 for 5 from the field. Her field goal percentage continues to go up. Already first in the Atlantic 10, shooting over 62% entering tonight. The drive, 4 in the shot clock. Melius fade away off the back iron. And a held ball. Possession arrow gives that to the Wildcats. And a foul called on Miller. That's her third. Armendariz comes in for Tejada. Susie Rose Deegan to inbound. Gets it to Izzy Morgan. Morgan's scoreless tonight. Unlike her, she averages 8.6 points per game, but she is a distributor first. There's Sutphin with the bucket. Sutphin up to 12 points in her return to basketball after being injured on November 21st. Has not played since until tonight. Lasalle has gone nearly 5 minutes without a point. Armendariz drives out to Masciantonio. Offensive foul called on Armendariz. And Armendariz has fouled out. That is her 5th foul, and her night is done early. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 5 fouls. And Turco comes in for Jolene Armendariz. 7-0 run for Davidson in over 5 minutes scoreless for LaSalle. Dunn, cross court. Outside. Ball stolen away by Bolden. Bolden moving quickly in transition. Steps through, they call traveling.
Traveling violation. Davidson ball.
Outside, Dunn. Inside, Sutphin, extra pass. Beautiful play in the finish for Millie Pryor. That is how this Davidson offense typically runs. It's how they average 74 points per game and how they shoot 46.8% from the field. This offense back on track. Offensive board, Bolden. A wild pass, they get it to Masciantonio. Top of the arc, 3 hits for Masciantonio. 9 points for Molly Masciantonio. LaSalle staying in this. 58-42 the score. There's a media timeout. We'll take a quick break. 4th quarter here in Philadelphia.
UW-Madison.
Davidson led 31-13 LaSalle went on a 24-8 run. They turned it into a one-possession game as a timeout was called before traveling. And we'll keep it here. 10. Rhode Island beat George Mason, preseason poll, 11 a.m. And then Cohen with you here in Philadelphia. That's picked up by Michaela Miller. Keeps it going, finds Masciantonio in the paint. Masciantonio! 11 points for the veteran point guard. And LaSalle is not done yet. Ball with Morgan. Nice ball movement here for the Wildcats. They're also looking to kill some clock. Inside with Plank, off the back iron. Offensive board, another for Davidson. Inside, double clutch, counted and one. Huge game from Millie Pryor. She's up to 14 points and 6 rebounds. 7 rebounds, excuse me. Chance to get to 15 points. She has been incredible in her first year playing for Davidson. It's her second year with the squad after transferring in from Fordham. But she was injured all of last year and has stepped up in a huge way for the Wildcats. A big reason for their turnaround. There's an offensive board for Maddie Plank. 13th offensive rebound of the game for the Wildcats. Foul called on Nicole Melius.
That was on 10, Nicole Melius, her second, team's 5th.
5th team foul puts Davidson in the bonus. Trip to the line for Izzy Morgan, who has not yet scored in this game. Only player in the rotation for the Wildcats who has not yet scored tonight. She averages 8.6 points per game, and she's now on the board. Return of this battle between LaSalle and Davidson. They didn't play last year. It was supposed to be played down in North Carolina. But the game had to be canceled due to COVID health and safety protocols, an outbreak with the Davidson team. And so LaSalle did not make the trip down to North Carolina. The game was canceled. As that's a held ball, it'll stay with LaSalle.
Stays with LaSalle.
So they couldn't play last year because of COVID amongst the Davidson program. Year before that was here in Philadelphia. LaSalle won that game. They also won it the year before down in North Carolina. So it's been a while since the Wildcats have won this battle. Offensive foul called on Miller.
Offensive foul number 13, Michaela Miller, her 4th.
That's the 4th foul on Michaela Miller. She's been incredible offensively tonight, but now she's in foul trouble. Although they're just going to keep her out there. Under 4 minutes still left to play. Not much to lose. You're down 62-44. Knocked away. In the corner, Deegan resets. Back to Morgan. Inside. Double clutch miss. Offensive board for Pryor. Her 8th rebound of the game. Deegan misses the 3. Another offensive board. That time it's Charlize Dunn. And Davidson has certainly won the rebounding battle. And again, they slow things down. Masciantonio misses the 3. And that'll stay with LaSalle.
Emily Tejada back in for the Explorers.
Masciantonio, corner 3. It hits from outside. Masciantonio, 14 points. Scored a season-high 15 against Villanova when she set the 1,000 career point mark just a couple of weeks ago before the holiday break. 64-47. There's a three from Charlize Dunn. She's up to 11 points. And again, Lasalle slowing things down. Down 20, essentially waving the white flag on this game. Not trying to hurry things up. Kind of using the last couple minutes of this game as testing ground. Masciantonio does it again! Masciantonio, 17 points. She sets a season high. Incredible offensive performance for Molly Masciantonio. Her career high was in Division II playing at Holy Family. She scored 25. Does not look like she'll get there tonight. But an incredible performance offensively for Molly Masciantonio, who's been a distributor but is becoming more and more of a shooter due to necessity. Melius misses. And Masciantonio has set a Division I career high in scoring with her 17 points tonight. Again, she did eclipse that at Holy Family, but this is her season high, her career high, excuse me, in Division I basketball. So big night for her. Another bucket for Davidson. And there's a foul called on the Wildcats.
Fouls on 21, Charlie Dunn, the third. Team's third.
69-50 is the score. So Davidson, though they were slowed down tremendously in the second quarter and early in the third quarter, their offense picked back up. Tejada misses. So shot clock turned off. Davidson will get yet another victory. They'll move to 12-1 in the Atlantic 10, 2-0, or excuse me, 12-1 overall, 2-0 in the Atlantic 10. LaSalle falls to 3-10, 0-2 in the conference, as the final score is 69-50. Davidson gets the victory here in Philadelphia. They have now won 10 games in a row. Their only loss on the road at ranked North Carolina. They're proving they're one of the top teams in the country. LaSalle now lost 8 in a row. They'll be back at home this Saturday. They'll be back in action this Saturday at home against Fordham.